Wanted to bring you a real short clip today about the plugs I sell, how to set them, and the answers to a lot of common questions. Now, whether you buy a tray of El Toro plugs, this is what they look like. You have a full root system already established, and you have some rhizomes starting to run in here. So these plugs are going to be a little bit more mature than the Meyer plugs, which I pull from the yard here. Both of these can be set with the Proplugger tool. They're the same size, and I'm going to demonstrate what you need to do to get your area ready and how to set the plugs once you buy them from me. Now, there's a bucket of Z52 Meyer plugs, not a whole lot to it. These guys have enough meat, so to speak, that they're not going to die. You can plant these literally year round and they will survive. I've planted from January and all of those survived. You can even plant in the fall, but I recommend planting during the growing season. So here's what we're going to do. We're looking at a spot here that I have. It's not very big. It's maybe 7 or 8 feet long by 4 or 5 feet wide, and I think I had a fungus last year, a little bit of brown patch. Anyway, it got weak going into the fall, and when it came out this spring, it was just a dead spot. It is next to our walkway here, and it gets walked on a lot, so that may have had something to do with it. And when the dog came out this winter, she didn't go far to pee, so she did a lot of that there. So before you plug, my best advice is to give the area a watering. Make that plug tool even easier to use than what it is. Now, there's that Proplugger. I'll link it in the description below where you can find it, or if you buy plugs from me, I have these available as well. So what I'm going to do is, the row closest to the flower bed, I measured 12 inches apart. From there, I came over this way 6 inches, and I went in between them, checkerboard pattern. That is going to give me 6 inches between rows, but 12 inches between plugs in each row. And that's a good fit for me. Plugs can be put out in any way you want. You can put them 6 inches apart. You can put them 2 or 3 feet apart. Whatever fits your budget, whatever fits your scenario will work. I will say, the farther you put these apart, the longer it will take for them to fill in. I'm going to demonstrate how easy it is to use this tool and how easy it is to set the plugs. The cool thing about the Proplugger is the fact that you don't have to bend over constantly to pull your plug out that you just made here. What it does is it stacks in the tube with every step, and this is how easy it is to empty it. Oh, one more. There it is. Now that we've made our holes, all we have to do is place new plugs in these holes. Watch this. All you do is place the plug in the hole, step on it, push out any air that may be in there, because you want to ensure proper contact with no air pockets so that your roots will grow. And that's what they look like. Now I'm going to show you what the El Toro plug trays look like, and they are set the same way in the same holes, proper fit. Check out that rhizome ready to pop. Now what a rhizome is an underground tiller that pushes underground and then pops up and creates a new plant, and that's what you want. Stolons run above the ground, and they have runners that go out, and then it tacks down a root, and it runs out and tacks down a root, and everywhere it tacks down a root essentially becomes a new plant, but they're all connected. So that's a pretty good rhizome right here, and you can see we have some more popping out. Right here's one, and beautiful root system, and this is how these go in. There you have it. Just fill in your holes, step on them, and then give them a good watering. You want to water your plugs at least every day. If you have rain, you can skip that day. Give it a couple of weeks. You can kind of eyeball it and tell if they're dry. If they are dry, you definitely want to give it some water. If not, feel free to skip that step. Anytime you put plugs down, I recommend that you use a starter fertilizer, whether it's a granular or a liquid, and you can also use a 1010 or 13, but what we're after here is a little bit of phosphorus, and phosphorus is your middle number in your fertilizer bag. The 3 numbers on the bag, that's your middle number. But essentially we want to keep our nitrogen level a little bit lower, because nitrogen causes top growth. And even though top growth looks really good on a plug, the first year we want to make sure that these roots get established. We want to make sure that rhizomes are starting to spread and form. And you will see top growth in the first year, even if you apply a low amount of nitrogen. And that's not going to hurt anything. But again, we want those to start spreading. And you're going to get enough. In whatever fertilizer you use, you will get enough nitrogen. The nitrogen is the first number on the bag. So if it's a 10, 10, 10, the first number means that there are 10% of that bag is nitrogen. The middle number is also 10, so 10% of that is phosphorus, and the last number is potassium or potash. And remember what they do. Nitrogen is top growth, phosphorus is basically bottom growth, and potassium is an all-around plant, and it helps with plant stresses with heat, drought, and disease. So that's a good mix to start with. You can also use biostimulants like the N-ext RGS, which is root growth stimulant. It's a mixture of humic acid and sea kelp extract, which is loaded with growth hormones. And that is what I use on these plug trays, and you could tell that they were doing fantastic. Now, if you have any questions, please go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/ZOYSIA plugs, or leave me a message in the comments of this video, and I will try to answer every single one of those. If you are local to Eastern North Carolina and you want to purchase plugs, all you have to do is go to my Facebook page and send me a message through that. I do respond very quickly. If you have any other fertility questions, I'm here to help. If you have questions on weeds, if I don't know the answer, I'll find it for you. And other biostimulants, I do use other things. I will be glad to help with that as well. So thank you for watching. I just wanted to give you a quick, not update, but a quick video on how to set plugs once you get those from me. So a good rule of thumb is 1 plug for every square foot, or 1 plug for every 2 square feet, depending on your budget versus your time. And what I mean by that is, if you want to spend the money and plug 1 plug per square foot, that's great. But I understand that not everybody wants to spend that. So you can do 1 plug every 2 square feet and cut your cost in half. But the thing with that is, you will spend more time waiting for it to grow in and fill in. Now, zoysia grass is not a fast grower. It has a decent vertical growth, which means it grows up towards the sun at a decent rate, but its spread rate is really slow. So you can expect maybe 2 years, sometimes 3 years, depending on conditions, for it to fill in and thicken up. But I will say that it is worth the wait, and you will have a beautiful, thick, dark, lush green lawn that is perfect for barefoot walking, playing sports. It's very drought tolerant, heat tolerant. It loves the heat, loves the sunlight, and it is soft to walk on. I don't remember what I was going to say, but I lost my train of thought. So the Meyer Z52 is plugged out of the ground. You get 120 plugs in a bucket, and the trays of plugs, I have 2 different types. I have the same size as what the Proplugger makes, and there are 38 plugs in that tray. Or I have a 3" by 3" plug that you get 18 to a tray. Now there's more grass in that plug, but you get less plugs because they're really big, and they fit like the Yard Butler tool. Any of the 3" by 3" tools, it fits. Before we wrap this up, I want to show you a few of the products that I use that do work for me. First is the RGS. That's a N-ext product that contains the humic and the sea kelp for growth stimulation. The next product is the N-ext GreenePop, and that is a 16-21-2 formula. It is a starter fertilizer formula, but what is unique about this formula is the fact that it contains RGS and the aerate product to help open up the soil. So that is a fantastic starter fertilizer. Gives you everything you need. And the other thing that I like to use, and I use this on the entire lawn as well as the RGS, is the Subvert Depth 10. It's a 10-00 formula, so it's 10% nitrogen, but it goes out at a very low rate. And what it does is it contains the hydrolysis derived peptides, which is a chain of amino acids that stimulates and causes root hair growth. And it works. I mean, just look at the plugs. I mean, they're going crazy. So I wanted to show you a few of the products that I use, and I'm going to link those into the description. So if you are interested in it, that is something you can purchase to help push during this nice hot growing season. So there it is. I will see you next week, and stay tuned for me putting out a video for the next DIY channel on GreenePop. Bye.